To go on the footplate with driver Steve. Thank you, Steve. Right, I'll get in. There goes JB Snell. I'm now in that fantastic place, the footplate of a locomotive. What can we see? Maybe look in the fire. We talked about the firebox. You can't feel the heat in the train, but it is mighty hot. Can you see all the flames in there? It's a real furnace. Can we see the tubes? Yes. Don't open this. You might be able to see the tubes in there. That is making all the heat to make the steam. Right, we talked about pressure. Here's the boiler pressure. Maximum pressure is the red line at 180 pounds per square inch. We are at 170, so pretty much full pressure. What else can we see before we get started?
Gauge.
Water gauge. Here's the water gauge. We have got, it goes dark. Where the water is in this type of gauge, it's black. So the water level is up to there, which is exactly correct. Where it looks silvery, that's the steam space above the water. So that's exactly correct for the water level at the moment. And other things to look at is, here's the regulator handle that operates the steam valve in the dome. Have a look along the outside of the engine. Safety valves are just feathering. Full pressure. Okay. Right, here we go. Whistle. Opening the regulator very slightly to start with. Just taking up the slack in all the couplings. You can see a pressure gauge over on the left here, which is showing about 80 pounds. That's the pressure actually pushing in the steam chest, for pushing on the pistons. And it moves about a bit as the pistons, the cylinders, accept steam from the boiler. That pressure gauge is not as high as the boiler pressure gauge, because the regulator is not fully open. If we open the regulator fully, it would spin the wheels. That would be bad. So here we are leaving New Romney. The water level moves about a little bit as the water slops up and down inside the boiler. More steam on the regulator. The pressure on the steam chest pressure gauge is going up now. That's 120 now, look. So the handle down here, that one I'm pointing at, got that right, that shuts the cylinder drain cocks. That was what was leaking or hissing the steam out down below the cylinders.
Romney, clear and complete, over.
Each chuff from the cylinder is one cylinder full of exhaust steam. Sorry, each chuff from the chimney is one cylinder full of exhaust steam. We looked at that earlier on. There's a very slight slip there, which the driver controlled immediately. Engine's working quite hard now to accelerate the train. Driver's eye view. So the boiler pressure has come down a little bit now. We're using a lot of steam to get the train moving. coal on the fire now to keep the pressure up all the way onto Dymchurch. There's a lot of work for the driver to do to drive an engine. Because in the small engines he's driving the engine and he's maintaining the fire on the boiler. Has just put on the injector steam valve and the injector water valve down there. Sorry, I'm not pointing at it. So that's the injector water valve, and it's using steam from the steam valve to force water into the boiler. Keep the water level correct, because we're using steam which is using water from the boiler. Watching the trains go by. So the regulator's almost shut now. Almost no steam going to the cylinders. The steam chest pressure gauge is almost back to nothing. We're coasting. Level's gone down quite a bit now, but it's being replaced by the steam injector, by the water injector powered by the steam. Just a breath of steam to keep the speed up now. We've got the train up to speed. Just a breath of steam to keep the train moving. Coming up to a curve.
Obviously, we go ahead. Yeah, just keep you in the middle, up the train.
Level crossing there,
so it'll be just as we go round the corner and into the houses, so another couple of minutes.
So a couple of minutes before we get to a level crossing, we'll see the gates down and the lights flashing for that. More coal. Noise was going over a bridge. It's just turned off the steam injector. There's enough water in the boiler now. We've got about £60 per square inch in the steam chest pressure gauge. That tells you how hard the engine's working. A little bit more now. Steve's opened the regulator a bit. You can hear it in the exhaust. It's working harder again now. Quite a tight curve going round. The track's a bit rough here. Just round this corner now, we're coming up to a level crossing, so we have to check for the flashing light to say it's clear. Injector back on now to replace the water in the boiler. Regulator shut, we're coasting. Tiny bit of steam on just to keep us moving. going down just now, look, can you see that? A touch on the brake valve just to take the speed down a bit for the level crossing. Tiny slip there, I don't know if you could hear that. The track must be a bit greasy here. We've got 90 pounds per square inch on the steam chest pressure gauge there. That tells you the engine's working pretty hard. Much more than that, if you open the regulator more, it will produce too much power and make the wheels slip. More coal. Having to keep out of the way here. That is just unbelievably hot in there. This is the reverser that Steve's has been adjusting. It's always in Ford's gear for this journey, but you can move it towards full gear or back towards mid-gear as well, depending on how much power you want from the engine. Injector back on again. Another bridge. It's a wonderfully straight stretch of track here. Quite difficult to hold it steady enough. We'll do that instead. Steve's just shut off steam. We're really coasting now all the way into Dymchurch. The engine has done the work of accelerating the train, just rolling along now. That's the beauty of steel wheels on steel rails. There's very little friction. The engine's not really working at all now. We're just coasting along, freewheeling. So here are the brakes here. I want us to touch the brakes now. A bit more brakes. Level crossing gates have gone down. We've got the flashing light to say it's clear.
Yes. We've got a U below it, which means the signal box is unmanned, so we can go past the blank signal.
So Steve's explained that there's a U below the signals, which means the signal box is unmanned, so he has permission to go past the signals unlit. Now if you're listening, here's your train. You're going to leap off this train in a safe manner and go and get onto the other train, and we're in the rear three coaches on this train. filming the passengers filming us. As one of the most difficult bits is braking a train gently to a stop in just the right place. It's much more difficult than slowing a car down because the brakes don't react very quickly. So you can feel the brakes slowing us down now. And stops. Steve, thank you very, very much.